Hey guys, okay, so this will be in response to Bigstar1000's alphabet thread part 2. Take one letter out of your collection and choose 5 albums out of that single letter. Boy, you're brutal, man, just brutal. So I chose the letter S. It's probably the largest section of my collection, so I figured I'd choose that letter because I'd have more to choose from. I think that was the wrong thing to do. I should have went with a smaller letter with less in it, so it would be easier to choose from. Anyway, here's the 5 choices that I chose. I tried to stay away from a lot of prog this go around. I've shown a lot of that lately. There is definitely, this is probably mostly 80s. I think there's one prog in here, but here we go. The first one, and these are actually in alphabetical order in my S section, but the first one got a little metal here. This is Sabotage, Sirens. This album is just so heavy for this particular band. Sabotage is a great band, but as they continued on in their career, they tended to get a little more commercial, but this album right here is just insanely good, very, very heavy, good stuff. Okay, the second one. This is one of those albums, I'm sure we've all been here in this situation. When this song came out in the 80s, I went down to it was probably the Warehouse, I think, back then, bought this LP just for the song that was their hit that was on the radio back then, and when I got home and had enough of listening to that song, I then decided to actually experience the whole album, and this is one of those albums where the rest of the album is better than the hit song. A lot of times you'll buy, or you used to buy, I don't know, but I used to buy an album for one song and the rest of the album pretty much blew. It was just, you know, not that great. This was the opposite. This was a hit and run all the way through. This album is Shriek Back, Oil and Gold. The big radio tune off this was Nemesis. But I'll tell you what, I love that picture. This album is just so good. It's so dark, wonderful, absolutely love this album. The unfortunate thing about Shriek Back is I've given other albums of theirs a try, and I didn't care for them. But this album right here is just one of my favorites. Okay, number 3. This is probably the best album by this band. This could be controversial amongst fans of this band, but in my opinion it is. And there's one song off this album was one of the first songs I ever recorded. I'm a bass player, and I actually one of the first songs I ever recorded, and it was myself on bass, vocals, and a guy by the name of Rodney on drums, and his brother on guitar. Anyway, long story. But anyway, that song was Lucretia, or Lucretia My Reflection, and it's the Sisters of Mercy, Floodland. And the Sisters of Mercy are just, man, top of the goth chain right here. Love these guys. Okay, number 3. I just can't show this album enough because it's one of my favorite albums. But you know, when I had to choose S, this was actually the first one I pulled because it's just such a landmark album. Absolutely one of my favorites. The Smiths, The Queen Is Dead. I think this has been in 1, if not 2, of my other videos, but you know, can't get enough of this album. Probably never will. Okay, and the last one, number 5. This is some 70s prog, and in fact, if any of you out there are Yes fans, you may or may not already know this. The funny thing was I had a neighbor that was a really big Yes fan as well, And he was over at my house one day, and I put this on, and the guy goes, "Whoa, hey, what album is that?" And I said, "Oh, you don't know this, son?" He goes, Dude, I've got everything by Yes, but I've never heard that." Well, it's not Yes, but they are very, very close. Vocals, the band, signature Yes, time arrangements that are all over the place. An absolute Yes clone out of the 70s, and it's Star Castle. And this is the first LP, probably the best. If you've not experienced these guys, you got to give them a listen, and it'll just blow your mind. The follow-up album to this, Citadel, is also just a killer album. So those are my 5 picks out of the Yes section of my collection. So thanks for posting that challenge. It was a challenge, and man, I don't know if you can make it any tougher than that. But anyway, short and sweet, to the point. Those are my choices, and I'm sticking to them. Bye.